49 hours per week. According to the Census and Statistics Department in 2017, the average working hours for Hong Kong full-time employees are 49 hours per week. You may be amazed since it's the longest working hours in the world. The statistics highlight employees in Hong Kong have less leisure time for playing, relaxing, and even sleeping after a long period of working. So, why are Hong Kong employees deprived of leisure time after work? The reason is there isn't any working hour standard to limit the number of pre-assigned working hours. But even if the number of pre-assigned working hours is small, there isn't any economic incentive, like compensation, to discourage employers from assigning overtime work. So, you may wonder, do other countries similarly have long working hours as Hong Kong? Are there any policy to prevent such long working hours? We are going to look at what 3 other countries, Taiwan, Mexico, and Singapore do, and consider whether Hong Kong can benefit from some changes to its existing long working hours.
Firstly, a major difference between the 3 countries is whether there is law enforcement to regulate the working hours. In Taiwan, the working hour standard can't exceed 40 hours per week according to the Labor Standards Act. However, in Singapore, the working hour standard is 4 hours higher than that of Taiwan, that is 44 hours per week. So, how about Mexico? They don't have any law to regulate the working hours. Undoubtedly, countries setting a standard working hours tend to have lower average working hours. The average working hours of both Taiwanese and Singaporeans are approximately 44 hours per week compared with 48 hours per week in Mexico. So, Mexico has the longest average working hours. Therefore, law enforcement on standard working hours can reduce the average working hours of employees. Secondly, overtime compensation for employees in the 3 countries also play a pivotal role in reducing working hours. Fortunately, unlike Hong Kong, the 3 countries have overtime working compensation, but their amounts are different. The compensations of Taiwan is the least. The employee there can only have 33% more than the normal wages. Compared to Taiwan, the compensation of Singapore and Mexico are much more as the employees can earn double salary for overtime work. As you can imagine, the difference in overtime compensations can have significant impact on the amount of overtime work. In Singapore, employees only work overtime 2.8 hours per week. However, in Taiwan, employees have to work overtime for 4.2 hours per week. It's 4.2 hours per week, just simply because the overtime compensation isn't sufficient enough to discourage employers from assigning overtime work.
Finally, the numbers of annual leave are different in the 3 countries. Taiwan and Singapore have a greater number of annual leave. There are 19 and 18 annual leaves respectively. In contrast, Mexico has the least number of annual leave. There are 13 annual leaves only. As we all know, the greater number of annual leave, the shorter time employees have to work. It is illustrated by Taiwan with average working hours of 44 hours. So a greater number of annual leave can shorten the average working hour. So, what can Hong Kong learn from those countries? First, we can consider legalizing standard working hours in Hong Kong to safeguard employees with work-life balance. However, the standard working hours shouldn't be set up as high as 44 hours in Singapore, so employees can have more leisure time after work. Another suggestion is that Overtime compensation should be implemented with law enforcement. Therefore, employers can't order employees to work overtime unless there is a much higher salary paid. Third, the government may raise the number of annual leave to shorten the time of working annually. With policy changes like these, employees can be less stressful about their work and maintain a good quality of life.